David Julian Dobrik. Viner, YouTuber, cancer, People's Sexiest YouTube Star of 2019. Filmmaker, DACA recipient, pizza restaurant owner, and maybe, just maybe, influencer cult leader? Other than this, what do we know about David Dobrik? Since joining YouTube in 2015, Dobrik's charm and cheeky personality quickly shot him into YouTube superstardom. The now 27-year-old social media mogul is known for his 4-minute and 20-second weekly vlogs, which showcase him and his friends, also known as the Vlog Squad, running around LA pulling pranks, causing havoc, and ultimately looking like they're having a little bit more fun than everybody else. The Vlog Squad has had a rotating cast since its creation, and even though none of these members are direct employees of Dobrik, most of them still reap the benefits of his following at least a little bit. There's even the chance of him buying them a car. He does, however, have 3 employees who function as pseudo-members: Natalie Meriduena, Taylor Hudson, and Ella Priya D'Souza. The Dobrik rose to fame on YouTube. In 2020, he switched to podcast format, which ultimately stopped last year. Whereas now, he's been strictly posting on Snapchat and Snapchat only. Super long Snapchat stories. For what? I don't know, but the space he left on YouTube made room for the Vlog Squad's former members and those affected by their actions to speak out on the internet's favorite boy next door. Now let's get into the timeline. In 2013, Dobrik joins Vine and gets famous off his 7-second videos, a lot of which aren't too different from his vlogs. Quick-witted, but with a hint of danger and, how do I say this? A lack of care or thought for anybody who is different than him.
Just cut off the umbilical cord? Sir, you just cut off his penis. It's a girl.
Time, Dad. Go out there and break a leg. You're a dick. Son! See you later.
By 2015, most Viners are moving towards long-form content, so David follows fellow Viners onto YouTube.
Hey, this is my first vlog, man! Fuck off! Alright, let's just start vlogging. What a dick.
By 2016, Vine is dead. David Dobrik is a YouTube star. Prior to YouTube's adpocalypse, Dobrik was making roughly $275,000 a month. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. $1,000 a month would change my life. Anyway, moving on. That did end up dropping after YouTube's adpocalypse in 2016. But fast forward a year, the vlog is growing more than ever. So Dobrik starts to pick up brand deals, and I mean a lot of them.
You've seen them help me surprise my friends with cars. Literally 10 friends in the last year have gotten a car because of SeatGeek.
Happy birthday, Natalie.
I don't know if I can even accept that.
You like your brand new car?
You want me a fucking car?
Yeah! Are you serious? Oh my god, bro. Thank you, America!
By 2017, things get nasty. Dobrik is in his prime, he's doing his best. However, his idea of comedy and the people that he's surrounding himself with are just not it. In this video, there will be explicit language regarding harassment, sexual assault, coercion, and rape. I'd like everybody to meet Dom Zagladis, now 28, former content creator known as Dirty Dom. Dom is, well, he's dirty. His role in David's vlog is just that. He's a weed smoker, he's an alcohol drinker, a fun haver, a player, and for a lack of a better word, a sex fiend.
So a girl was wearing a t-shirt that said this grabs back, and Dom's like, I'll grab that pussy.
A lot of his jokes in David Dobrik's vlog revolve around his use of substances, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but his creepy, adamant, and aggressive attempts to get sexual attention from girls does.
Competition, okay?
We're gonna go to UCLA.
Guy who can make out with the most girls with consent.
Oh, well, I'm not even specifying.
A running bit in his videos is that he creates a consent form for girls that he hooks up with. Interesting that this is a joke. I'd also like to make it known that Zagladis made it part of his look to wear a do-rag. I haven't seen this stated anywhere officially, but I'd like to state that this alone is cultural appropriation. A do-rag is a protective style for textured hair, and this nearly bald white man has truly no business wearing one. Yeah. During the peak of David Dobrik's career, on May 18th, 2017, the first of many allegations against Zagladis took place. A former fan of Dobrik's, leaked footage of Dom Zagladis backing her into a corner aggressively and humping her as David filmed in what used to be the Vlog Squad's apartment. She said she'd been to their apartment once before because Dom posted on Snapchat asking for girls 18 and over to be extras in a vlog about Dom needing a sex intervention. The next time she went to their apartment, this happened. This was in his vlog uploaded on May 19th, 2017, but the vlog cuts away before he makes contact with the girl. However, in November of 2021, footage was made available via Insider, where he's trapping her into the corner of a hallway and humping her. Dobrik can be heard repeating, "Stop, stop, 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 stop," and pulls Zagladis off of her. Imagine that. You're a fan, and you're going to see one of your favorite YouTubers, and you follow their friends, in hopes that, like, you will get to, just in hopes because you support them. And you see them, like, you're in LA, you see them like, "Hey, anybody want to come over?" "Yeah, I want to come over. Of course, I'm 18 and over. I'm a fan. Like, that sounds great." Wrong! So I'm gonna play the video now. It's short, it's not super graphic, but I would like to give warnings just before I play these videos regarding specific incidents. 2 months later, on June 15th, 2017, Dobrik tricks former Vlog Squad member Seth Francois into kissing Jason Nash, the nearly 50-year-old comedian attached to the group. Francois was told that he would be kissing Corinna Kopf, an original Vlog Squad member and IG model. It was not revealed to the blindfolded Francois that he was kissing Jason Nash until after the act had happened.
What's up, guys? Today I'm pulling a prank on Seth that may have the potential of being one of my favorite pranks I've ever done. So Alex has a scary old man mask that he's been using to scare people for a while now. I'm gonna convince Seth that he needs to make out with Corinna while she's wearing that old man mask.
Seth, are you okay with making out with Corinna?
Yeah, that's fine.
Corinna's gonna come out of my room before she has the mask on, and she's gonna show me how weird she looks in her outfit.
I look so stupid.
I'm gonna tell her that it does look weird and that I need to go and add some more padding to make her look more like an old man.
I gotta put padding, you look kind of dumb.
But instead of going to the room and adding more padding, Corinna's gonna hop out of the outfit and have Jason put it on instead. Corinna's taking these off now and switching with Jason. This is like a porno. And then without any hesitation, I'm gonna have Jason come out wearing the old man mask and try to make out with Seth while he thinks it's Corinna.
Corinna, you okay with tongue?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Corinna's going, "Oh, baby." Seth's like, "This is my type of skin." Okay, Corinna, go.
Seth did not consent to kissing Jason. That's the main issue with this prank. I'd also like to mention that the punchline here is homophobia. Like, everybody's just, like, he wouldn't have chose to kiss Jason if he was told that. He would have said no, because he doesn't want to. And that is that in itself. However, when he realizes that he has kissed Jason, like, he has Corinna come out and it's like, "Oh, that's Corinna, ha ha ha." And Jason pulls off the mask and shows himself that he's him. Everybody's laughing and Francois himself is disgusted, which I don't blame him. That's the punchline here. Homophobia.
Oh my god! He disgusting! It's Daddy!
The same month, Ali Hardesty releases a video on YouTube titled "Dirty Dom Exposed: My Story," where she says Dom Zagladis groped her and forcibly kissed her at VidCon that year, about a week prior to when this video was filmed. Not this video, but her video. This story is extremely similar to his last allegation. So, like, the man is just time after time after time. Dirty Dom is dirty as fuck. On November 30th, 2017, Dobrik releases a video titled "This Stunt Puts Him in the Hospital," where recurring character Jonah, whose real name is Nick Antonian, he's called Jonah in the vlogs because he looks like Jonah Hill, he drives a bike over a ramp and into a pool. When the stunt isn't cool enough, he does it again with the motorcycle.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Are you good? Are you good?
When he jumps into the pool, he hits his side and punctures a hole in his stomach. "Let's get Jonah to the hospital. And David, let's get this footage into editing," a Vlog Squad member told Dobrik. Jonah did prove to be okay after his trip to the emergency room, yet this didn't appear to be a wake-up call for Dobrik. who continued to pursue the next biggest stunt, regardless of whether it could put his friends, who also act as business collaborators, in danger. Nick Antonian, again Jonah, is often the butt of hurtful jokes because of his body type. He's essentially in the vlogs for 5 reasons. 1, he looks like Jonah Hill. 2, he's funny. 3, he'll do anything for the vlog, which, like, I don't want to put that on somebody else when, like, they are the person who's being made fun of, because when you're getting that attention, it feels positive. Even if it is negative, it feels positive, you know? Plus, he has a small penis. All of these things, except for the fact that he's funny, have been used as constant butts of the joke the entire time he's been in Dobrik's videos. There are even instances after that event where Dobrik begs Antonian to flash people and show people his penis, so Dobrik could record their surprised and frankly disgusted reactions.
2, 1, turn around. Oh my God! Has Zane seen it? What was that? I just saw it now. What is that? That's his penis. It's a chicken thing. What is?
This cannot have a good long-lasting effect on his self-image or his psyche, you know? Like, what?
Be honest, how is his penis?
Small average.
Let me take a look.
Jason, show him your boobs too. Alright, go, show him.
Jesus Christ.
I've also seen some clips of him showing that he doesn't want to do it, but with some convincing and begging from Dobrik, he does it. I'm not a lawyer, but I would consider this some type of coercion. You know? Since Antonian's debut in the vlogs, Dobrik has also created a lot of content with Antonian and multiple of his family members. And although he's helped a lot of them financially, including helping them own a business, a lot of the content surrounding his family has essentially just been jokes about the weirdness of their Armenian culture, their food, the size of / the way that they use their home. I can recall a specific video where they're giving a house tour of Antonian's home and they don't want David to open the door to a closet. Dobrik does it anyway, and the closet ends up actually being a bathroom that isn't in service. It just doesn't work. You know, something happened. Housework is expensive, and they end up using the shower for storage. They're like, open the shower curtain, and Dobrik opens the shower curtain, and he just like clowns them for the fact that they're using the space that way and like laughs at it. But I cannot imagine letting somebody into my home and having them do that. I would feel so embarrassed. I would feel so like, yeah, just embarrassed, like not great, you know? And of course, Dobrik doesn't think about the fact that maybe fixing the bathroom is quite a big cost. That's not something that he's ever had to worry about, you know?
He also thought Courtney Cox was into him.
Courtney Cox is 100% into me, dude.
What made you think that?
She just kept looking at me.
Because she was probably like, why is this disgusting thing in my...
In February of 2018, a video is posted on Dobrik's account where former Vine star and Vlog Squad member Brandon Calvillo claims he's been seeing his girlfriend Lacey for about a month. He tells Dobrik that he's going on a date, and Dobrik tags along to get some stuff for his vlog. Imagine you go on a date with somebody and they bring their vlogger friend. Okay, it is LA, but it is LA in 2018, but absolutely not like that. There will not, I think he said it was the 3rd date, there would not have been a 4th date, my friend. David also asked Lacey if Brandon is good at sex, in which she replies, honestly, yeah. Lacey's birthday is in March, which means she was 17 at the time. The man was 24, by the way. The video has since been deleted. In November of 2018, David Dobrik releases a video that's since been deleted where Dom jokes that he's invited over a group of girls to have a fivesome. The girls are briefly included in the video while Dom aims sexual jokes and commentary at them throughout the thing.
So hopefully I have a 5
This is the guy that turns you on?
As a former fan of David, I remember watching this video and seeing the coercion on film. It almost felt like they were like begging them to do it. Like it almost seems as though he invited them over. This has not been confirmed. This is just like not been confirmed. This has not been publicly like spoken about or written about, but I do recall when this vlog came out. Through 2016 to maybe like 2019, I watched weekly, every single vlog. Like I was there, and I remember a lot of these that have like been deleted. Specifically, the one about like the 17-year-old. I remember that happening, and I believe that it was deleted right away, and I had no idea because it didn't come out until years and years later. I'm just sad that I didn't think all of this was weird earlier. And a lot of Dobrik's videos are based around David or somebody close to him begging somebody else to do something that they've expressed interested in not doing just for the vlog. It's like they'll make a joke about it and Dobrik will be like, yeah, do it. And they'll be like, nah. And then vlogs cut and then it happens. Like they do it. It's like, what happens? What is he doing? Because he's not paying them. Maybe he's paying them sometimes, but like, damn.
Yeah, I need 4 girls who live in LA, 18 plus, who are down to have a good time. Let me know.
I'm literally rubbing lotions on them right now, bro. I'm about to secure the bag.
Dom once again got more girls to show up at the apartment.
Guys, Dom was just confronted by a girl. She said she was 18, but she didn't have ID. So Dom stepped away from the situation and he said, no, thank you. I'm a different man.
That's right.
And Jason goes, bro, why aren't you recording this? This is amazing. We never get this kind of Dom footage.
David wants to pay.
In December of 2018, Gabriela Lagunas, a fan of David Dobrik's, met Dom near his apartment where the Vlog Squad filmed. Gabriela said Zagatas promised Dobrik would arrive and pressured her to drink until she agreed to have sex. Dobrik did not arrive.
Yeah.
Afterwards, she said she agreed to let him record a video of her naked on the condition that he kept it private. He didn't. Minutes later, she says he told her he sent it to a group chat. Lagunas shared details of her experience on TikTok in 2020. Just months before, a March 21 insider report accused Zagatas of rape. Flash forward to 2019, a few months later. YouTube star Trisha Paytas ends her relationship with Jason Nash, with who she dated for about 2 years, in a video exposing several members of the group, speaking on weirdness of the pressure Nash put on her to lose weight, his general creepiness, and also to have a threesome with 19-year-old Tanamojo. Nash was late 40s. Trisha was early 30s. Absolutely not. She also accused Brandon Calvillo of messing around with a minor.
In their friend group, was dating a high schooler last year. She was 17 years old. And when I would talk about this with like David, he would literally be like, oh, see, it's a big deal. He's 24, like she's 17, like, you know, just because it's the law, like a year, like 6 months, in 6 months she'll be 18. I'm like, it's disgusting. Like, people have found this out, and like Brandon will call David and be like, oh, like, you gotta delete these comments about her age and stuff like that, because she was in high school and started like dating and hooking up. Like, it's this whole like weird thing. And I've told David so many times in front of me, like, I don't know. It's like, that's like an evil person.
The same day, Calvillo deletes the image he had of them together at Disneyland from his Instagram. That same week, on February 8th, 2019, Brandon Calvillo and Lacey James post a YouTube video on Brandon's account addressing the allegations. We never thought we'd have to make this video, but there have been some rumors online about our relationship, and they're really bad, Calvillo shared. The pair met on the dating app Bumble and started talking and hanging out. At the time, James was only 17 years old, but the pair claimed they had not slept together and were not dating at the time. The video shows otherwise. Also, there are 0 dating apps that allow people over 18 to see people under 18 and vice versa. So even if she was lying about her age, it doesn't make it okay. Like, something is wrong. Like, something is not clicking here, you know? And I'm pretty sure by 2019, no dating apps were allowing people who are underage. I remember Tinder allowing, like, I think you had to be 15 when I was in high school, but that, I'm pretty sure that stopped. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't allow that anymore. And even then, I wasn't able to see people who were over 18. So like when I turned 17, like, I'm pretty sure I made an account saying I was a year older just so I could see people who were a little bit older than me, because I didn't want to be dating 15-year-olds. But it doesn't matter. When you're the younger person, you are not the one with the power. Regardless of the status of their sexual relationship, according to the video, the pair had not slept together at this point and were merely lying for content. Okay, girl. These jokes were very inappropriate because I didn't know she was 17 and neither did David, Calvillo says straight-faced in the video. In hindsight, it looks really bad and we never would have made these jokes if we had known. After finding out Lacey James' actual age, Calvillo told her that they couldn't see each other until she actually turned 18 years old, which happened to be in a week. The pair met up, aired their grievances, whatever the hell that means, and as James put it, continued to date for more than a year.
Keep hanging out and just be friends for a little bit.
And shortly thereafter, we started seeing each other romantically.
In Calvillo's words, "I'm 24, you're about to turn 19, there's no problem here." And that's it. By April of 2020, COVID lockdown happens, and David posts his last video of the year. Dobrik switches his content primarily to podcasting and stops posting for essentially a whole year until March of 2021, where he addresses the allegations made against Dom and only Dom. But for now, all of this goes unsaid, other than like the Dirty Dom exposed video. I mean, that's it. It is also said that Dobrik no longer hangs around or talks to Dom's accomplice. On June 2nd, 2020, Seth Francois, the only recurring black person in the vlogs, releases a YouTube video titled Accountability to All Creators. The video outlines all the negative and racist situations he experienced while being a part of the Vlog Squad. It includes clips of Dobrik and friends joking about taking Seth to the police station, knowing he was on parole and his relationship to police as a black person at the time, doing blackface, offering him watermelon, and labeling him their only black friend. Trigger warning for rough racism in the following videos.
He's our only black friend. Don't ruin this for me, okay?
This is Alex. You probably already know. What's Hey, Seth, you want something to drink?
Come on, Alex.
That same month, on June 27th, 2020, Seth Francois posts a video on Twitter saying, "Y'all rocking with white creators saying the N-word and doing blackface, or nah? Comment below." The tweet shows a clip of him reacting to a Vine of David saying the N-word, along with another clip from the vlogs of Seth walking into the room to see Alex Ernst and Zayn Hijazi smearing Nutella all over each other's face. The punchline in that video? Blackface. Here is another trigger warning for racism and white people saying slurs.
It's good, bruh. Nigga! I'm just gonna go home and watch some YouTube. Nigga!
3 days later, on June 30th, 2020, David releases his weekly podcast with Jason Nash. This one titled something along the lines about auditioning for SNL. You don't want to tell everybody you're apologizing? Or what? You care. It is more relevant that you audition for SNL rather than apologizing for your years and years and years of racism. Okay, Dobrik. Anyway, he takes the first 2 minutes of a 39-minute podcast to apologize and address his past behavior. He releases backlash for his insincerity, mainly because he doesn't directly address Seth or any of the specific racist situations or racism as a whole. He essentially says, "The intent of our videos are to make people laugh, but on a few occasions, I've missed the mark." When David Dobrik comes to make an apology, he's always talking about missing the mark. This is not a business review, my friend. You got a platform. You gotta act great. I'm sorry. Yeah. He also says in his apology that he went to a Black Lives Matter protest and was reached out by his black fans and told how important he is to them. He then apologized if anyone saw his videos and didn't feel like they made him feel good, because his intent is to make people feel good. It's important to note that apologies are not about your intent. They're not about if you hurt someone. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I'm sorry if you got offended. Apologies are sincere, honest, direct, and they do not include gaslighting. They do not include gaslighting, David. Thank you. Also, what the hell was that video? Also, like, you're gonna talk about Black Lives Matter, but you're not gonna speak on the black people that you have harmed. Okay. But that video was giving like mission. Like, I did not like it. It's giving like the Mormons on their way to Africa to build them a house to get their church a tax break, you know? That's what it's giving. Anyway, on September 18th, 2020, a man named Kareem makes a 5-part video series that goes viral. He offers his application to work for David Dobrik's new app and even gives a name suggestion for it, Dispo. David comments saying he loves the name and he'll be in touch. He then takes the name Dispo for his disposable camera style app, literally joining Twitter that same day under Dispo HQ. On October 7th, 2020, the Wall Street Journal reports that Dobrik's app has received $4 million in seed funding from Reddit founders New Venture 776. The official name of the app? Dispo. This announcement prompted Kareem to make a follow-up video to say essentially that they didn't hire him.
Well, thanks to Wholesome TikTok, David and Natalie saw the designs and name and loved them. We had a brief correspondence, I spoke with the team, and they are going in a different direction. So I'm making it myself.
Technically, there's nothing illegal about Dobrik and his team using the name that Kareem came up with without crediting or compensating him, according to the California trademark laws, especially if there wasn't any trademark or copyright infringement on the word Dispo, because Kareem suggested it to him too. So kind of he is in like a gray area there. So Dobrik is probably in the clear legally, but that still doesn't make it morally right. Not like he has a high moral ground or anything, but I'm just saying it's wrong. You know, just to add to the list of bullshit. On February 5th, 2021, Nick Kaswani, also known online as Big Nick, went on the H3H3 podcast to talk about his experience with the Vlog Squad. The H3H3 podcast, hosted by Ethan and Hila Klein, is known for reacting to drama, Vlog Squad stuff specifically. Kaswani shares how his time in the Vlog Squad damaged his mental health.
What's up, guys? Just want to say, pray for Syria.
You look like you have head lice.
Nick Kaswani suffers from a rare form of dwarfism that has also caused him to be blind in his left eye. During his time in the Vlog Squad, Kaswani was continuously mocked for his height and disability. Almost always. Like a good 90% of the jokes were about his like shortness, him being small, him being disabled, not able to do things, not being able to reach things. The other half was just him about like not getting girls and like being just in general lame. On the podcast, Nick states, I felt worthless being in those videos. I was like, dude, why am I even here? What's the point in my existence? Because I was just treated like this punching bag. And he was. Nick, like Seth Francois and Nick Antonian, and even Corinna Kopf, who continually was just made a joke for being sexually active and pretty. Sexism is so crazy. We're really just only in the vlogs to be ogled at or made fun of.
A nice view. You probably haven't seen it though.
It's funny when you make fun of Gabby, but when you make fun of me, it's like, wow, David's making fun of a disabled person.
Yeah, you are making fun of a disabled person, Dobrik. 2 weeks later, Seth Francois makes a guest appearance on the same H3 podcast, in which he talks a lot about the racism he was subjected to by the Vlog Squad, and also touches on the kissing prank incident of 2017. Seth says, I was touched by somebody I did not consent to. And again, like I said, they're just making fun of gay people. I mean, this is not on Seth at all, but like, just so fucking shitty. Like, not only is he like sexually harassing somebody by proxy and making Jason harass him, he's being homophobic. That same week, on February 16th, 2021, Trisha Paytas, Jason's ex, takes to another H3 podcast she has with Ethan Klein called Frenemies, with more allegations against Dobrik. David has always bullied Trisha on camera, making fun of her and antagonizing her and Jason's relationship, making it so they would fight on the camera. Trisha claims that Dobrik hid while she had sex with her boyfriend, Jason Nash, and filmed her while naked without her consent. Nash was aware of the prank, however, she claims there was no consent given. Because I was dating Jason, because I was a participant in the vlogs, that's my consent. She also asked Dobrik not to post the video, but it was posted anyway. And I remember watching this. They take a trip to Hawaii, and Dobrik comes to Hawaii and like hides in their room and then comes out to attack Jason. And like they said in the vlog that Jason did not know that he was there, because like the point of that vlog is like they were having a Nerf gun fight, Jason and David, and they were just trying to like get each other when they didn't realize it. And David was like, okay, I'm gonna get you back when you least expect it. And maybe it was paintballs or something stupid like that. And Jason and Trisha go to Hawaii, and like David makes a whole vlog about Jason not knowing he's coming. So that was a lie. On February 26, 2021, Ethan Klein accuses Dobrik of covering up his assault of Francois by deleting problematic clips from past vlogs and podcast episodes via Twitter. Klein specifically mentions a section from a podcast episode in which Dobrik and Nash are talking and laughing about the 2017 prank they played on Francois.
But what Seth didn't know is that I replaced Corinna with Jason.
I sit down, I put my hand on Seth's knee, and I put my hand behind his back and start rubbing his back and squeezing his knee. And then he
just leans in and just goes at it.
I slip him the tongue first.
His friends are probably gonna chew him out for that for the next 3-5 years of his life.
Well, as Seth tells it, the homosexuality is not so accepted in where he comes from.
Seth's from Compton. It's literally the perfect setup. Like a guy from Compton, and I made him make out with another older man.
It's good for Seth.
Seconds.
It gets him some airtime.
In the tweet, Klein states, "This is straight up sexual assault, and he did it to him twice." The way Jason talked about it was so creepy, and they were being racist, and they were being homophobic. Like, pick a struggle.
It's on your commercial, Seth.
The second time Dobrik did the prank, he hired actors to scout and hire Seth for an Old Spice commercial. He put Jason Nash in a gorilla costume, made him make out with him again, and then revealed that it was Nash behind the mask. Not only did they do this to him again, but I would argue that this time it's not another unconsenting kissing moment. More homophobia. And this time I think this is a little bit racially charged. On March 2021, David Dobrik launches his app, Dispo. He uses the name suggested by Kareem in the TikTok series in September of 2020. And though the company had trademarked the name in June 2020, viewers just generally are displeased with the lack of recognition for Kareem. So, the review section of Dispo in the application store is flooded with comments calling for Dobrik to not only to take accountability for his actions, but to give Kareem that credit and to just acknowledge those speaking out against him, which is iconic. Like, I love when people just fucking flood comments, and it's the app store, so you can't take them down. This isn't YouTube. You can't moderate them. On March 4th, 2021, Vlog Squad member and musician Scotty Sire.
Are you trying to catch me doing coke? Yeah. Can you get me some coke?
Uploads a video in defense of Dobrik titled "Hi." The video has since been taken down. However, it included messages between Dobrik and Francois that appeared to show Francois offering consent to the incident that took place back in 2017.
They haven't said anything because typically the Vlog Squad does not address rumors and lies and gossip because it platforms the person telling the lies, draws attention to it, and we know who we are, we know our character, we know we're good people, and we know it's not true, but this has gotten to a point where it's such a serious accusation that it needs to be addressed. Everybody makes mistakes. I am not an angel. I've definitely made mistakes myself, and all we can hope for when we make mistakes is to learn and grow from those mistakes. That being said, telling a lie is a mistake itself, and there's been a lot of that going around.
That same day, Vulture publishes a profile of Trisha Paytas in which she states, "I have more PTSD from David and Jason than I do hooking on Santa Monica Boulevard." Oh my god. She also blames Dobrik for the downfall of her relationship with Nash, saying she was deemed no longer useful for the vlogs. Jason was like, "I gotta break up with you because of David," Paytas explains. "That's when I spiraled." A week after posting his first video, on March 8th, 2021, Scott Sire posts a note to his Twitter, in which he apologizes to anybody who feels as though I disrespected or invalidated their story. Again, a sincere apology doesn't include "sorry you feel that way, I didn't mean to." Honest, sincere, direct, what was the other thing? And doesn't include gaslighting. Well, he didn't really gaslight in that. Wait, actually, let me go back. Does he? I guess not. I guess that's not gaslighting, but kinda is. When you say "if you feel that way," just... On March 16th, 2021, Business Insider publishes an article titled, "A woman featured on YouTube star David Dobrik's channel says she was raped by a Vlog Squad member in 2018, the night they filmed a video about group sex." The article includes commentary from a young woman who appeared in the 2018 video, "She Should Not Have Played with Fire," in which she claims that she was raped by Dom Gladys. She says she doesn't remember that night, she doesn't remember being filmed, and her friends had to 1, carry her out the house, and 2, remind her what happened.
Yeah, I need 4 girls who live in LA, 18 plus, who are down to have a good time. Let me know.
I'm literally rubbing lotions on them right now, but I'm about to secure the bag.
Tom once again got more girls to show up at the apartment.
On film, you see her and her friends being coerced into the fivesome. The article also includes quotes from Trisha Paytas, who claimed Dobrik asked Jason Nash and other friends to purchase alcohol for the women who were under 21 and couldn't purchase it for themselves. The video has since been deleted as requested by the woman to Dobrik. At first, he declined, even though she didn't consent to it being posted. But when she said she was raped, Dobrik took it down. The same day, Dobrik posted a 2-minute and 30-second video titled "Let's Talk" to his podcast YouTube page. He cannot not even give the Dobrik page like the light of day, like he can't do it on his main channel. Irritating. In this video, Dobrik claims that consent is in the heart of his content. He lies. He claims to not agree with some of his previous videos and apologizes directly to Seth, almost a year after his apology where he didn't. I just want to make videos where everybody in it, whether you're participating or watching, is enjoying having a good time, Dobrik says. I missed the mark with that one. Yup. We heard that before, brother. He goes on to address former members of the Vlog Squad, including Dom Zagladis, and states that he's distanced himself from them as he does not align with their actions and does not stand for misconduct. It's crazy that he says that, and also said that he doesn't agree with his previous videos, but he's the director. And I'm pretty sure he's the idea maker too, so what do you agree with, babe? He finishes the video with a promise. I'm sorry if I've let you down. Things like that won't happen again. I've learned from my mistakes, and I also believe that actions speak a lot louder than words. You can take my word for it that I'm going to change. But I will also show you, and I'll prove to you that the mistakes I made before won't be happening again. David fails to respond to the allegations from Trisha Paytas or Nick Swani. The weekend following, from March 17th to 19th of 2021, David Dobrik loses 100,000 subscribers since the day prior, and SeatGeek, longtime sponsor of Dobrik, states that they're reviewing their partnership with him. The next day, they tell Tube Filler that, quote, SeatGeek is not currently working with David Dobrik or the Vlog Squad, nor do we have any future planned campaigns, end quote. He then loses his partnerships with HelloFresh, Dollar Shave Club, EA Sports, DoorDash, General Mills, HBO Max, Audible, and Facebook. Dobrik has also been dropped as an owner by Angel City Football Club, a Los Angeles-based women's soccer team. And he has been dropped from Chipotle, Honey, Bumble, and Frank's Red Hot. Nickelodeon, Current, Fanjoy, Mischief, and G Fuel have not publicly commented on their relationship with him. So much for that free Chipotle for life card, baby! Embarrassing. On March 20th, 2021, David Dobrik's vlog channel loses over 66 million views in a single day, indicating that he deleted several high-ranking videos. I wonder which ones, bruh. On March 21, 2021, Vlog Squad member Jeff Wittick posts a video titled My Truth, attempting to distance himself from the Insider Report. In the video, he denies buying alcohol for the underage victims and shares audio of a phone call with Insider reporter Kat Tenbarge, during which he attempts to clear his name. Wittick claims that Paytas is the only one who remembers buying him the alcohol, but according to the Insider report, the victim's friend and designated driver recalls Wittick and another Vlog Squad member, Todd Smith, returning to the party with whiskey. Tenbarge responds with her own recordings of the phone call with Wittick. At one point, Wittick doubts Smith was even at the party, but in Dobrik's own footage, he's seen peeking into the room where the threesome is taking place. How did this go from a fivesome to a threesome? It's like two of these bitches refused. The other two, or three? Two? The other two were coerced. Like, this is not looking good, Dominique. In a tweet by the Insider reporter, Tenbarge says, Jeff spends his video trying to undermine my credibility by making false statements and playing out of context clips from our conversations. I stand by my reporting, and so does Insider. Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas then host an emergency live stream of the Frenemies podcast in which they interview Jeff Wittick. It comes to light that Wittick hadn't actually read the Insider article because he didn't want to pay for the paywall behind it. This is my favorite. This is my favorite exhibit, I think, out of everything. Though Wittek tries to say he and others like Dobrik were not around during the alleged assault or to supply alcohol, a time-stamped photograph from the report shows him, Smith, Dobrik, and the victim being held up by her friends because she's too drunk to stand at 1:38 a.m., hours after Wittek claims he left. To quote the live stream chat, "Clown!" He has since apologized directly to the victim, took down the video, and stated that even though he was there and attempted to discredit the writer of the Insider article, he didn't mean to discredit the victim. But in doing so, he did. He shouldn't have done that, and he's sorry. I must say, like, I didn't really fuck with Jeff, but that was an apology. That was an apology. By March 22nd, 2021, sponsorships are not the only thing Dobrik has lost. His company Dispo was also dropped by major investors, Spark Capital and 776. Well, that shit was trash anyway. So, and the filter was bad. They don't even look like film pictures. You'll never be able to be Fuji. You'll never be able to be the Fuji app. Never. You'll never be ViscoCam. You'll never be Fuji. According to the statement, 776 has, quote, made the decision to donate any profits from our investment in Dispo to an organization working with survivors of sexual assault. Yet, they did not name an organization. Anyway, Dobrik has since stepped down from the business. Maybe Dispo is better now. Maybe like it's a good app now. I don't know. The next day, on March 23rd, 2021, David Dobrik releases a second apology video, this time uploaded to his main channel, with comments on. Sitting on the floor by himself, cutting before he tears up, Dobrik addresses the Insider report and several other allegations of SU assault against Zagladis. "I'm so sorry," he says. "I was completely disconnected from the fact that when people were invited to film videos with us, especially videos that relied on shock for views or whatever it was, that I was creating an unfair power dynamic. I did not know this before."
That's fucked up, and I'm sorry.
Well, thanks, David. We appreciate your apology, but when everybody will do whatever you want to make you happy, to get on your side, to get a little bit of camera time, I feel like you know that. And I feel like that's why you do the things for shock value. Am I wrong? On March 24th, 2021, Dobrik is removed from the lineup of creators on the No Place for Hate anti-bullying tour. Fitting. On March 25th, 2021, YouTube temporarily suspends David Dobrik and Dom Zagladis from monetization following the Grape allegation for violating their creator responsibility policy, stating that they do not support sexual assault. This affected all three of Dobrik's channels as well as Zagladis' personal channel. His channel is no longer monetized, and it may be a part of the reason why he no longer posts, other than the backlash. At this point, his YouTube check went from that aforementioned 275K to 2K a month, which would still change my life. But you know. On March 26, 2021, in the words of Florence O'Connor and Zoe Haylock, who created a Vulture article on this timeline, thank you guys so much. They did a lot of the writing for this, like for my transcript here, and they also did a really, really amazing job putting together the timeline on this situation. It will be linked in the channel below. It essentially has like a written version of almost everything we talk about until like the next few things, but I get into like a little bit further than that because that article was published like last year, I think, or in 21, and there's things that there's been new developments, you know. Anyway, shout out Florence, shout out Zoe, thank you guys, and thank you Vulture. This is not an ad, I've just always loved Vulture. In their words, Jeff Wittek is still talking. He apologizes for his original response from the week prior in a new video asserting his innocence, which makes a lot of sense considering what we're about to get into. When I was watching the vlogs, I never really liked Jeff's vibes, and it's clear that he's also guilty of being there for past events. We saw a screenshot of him in the video while that girl could barely stand. But I do think that has like a part to do with the way that David framed him in the vlogs. Like he was like a cool guy, like a criminal. The man was arrested for marijuana twice. And he's sober. You don't drink alcohol, you cannot hurt me. That's not true. With this said, it is also important to note that Wittek turns out to be a victim too. He said that nobody told him that the rape had happened, and he apologized sincerely when he found out, which is honestly a first from the Vlog Squad. Like I said, that was a sincere apology. He even made a sizable donation to RAIN, an organization that helps survivors of sexual assault, and he made a statement about the fact that him speaking on the subject isn't entertainment. He's just stating facts here, you know? And I thought that was like, I don't know, he's just always struck me so much more real and especially that than any other Vlog Squad apology that I've ever seen. In a recent podcast with Trisha Paytas from September 23, Wittek claims that after posting this video asserting his innocence, he got a phone call from Natalie Maraduena, David's best friend, co-president, and business partner. She said, "I saw your video. David's not gonna like this." Bro is just saying that people got hurt and he doesn't stand by it. And David's not gonna like that? Like, the video is literally just Jeff saying what happened is wrong. Gold Star Human Award, Natalie.
Natalie, who gave the alcohol to the young girls? Was it your boyfriend, Todd? Who gave the alcohol to the young girls? David, you're not safe with your return, bro. Who gave the alcohol to the young girls at that night?
You're asking a crazy question that literally, we don't know that.
Somebody does.
Really weird conspiracy.
You deleted everything. You deleted everything off your bio.
He's harassing us right now.
You don't know the details of things.
Nah, bro, I don't look up to you anymore, dude. Fuck yeah, look at her smiling.
On April 22nd, 2021, after months of dodging rumors about his, frankly, just a screwed up looking, messed up looking, fucked up face, Jeff Wittek uploads a multi-part documentary, Don't Try This at Home, which explains that he was a part of an accident that he suffered last year, which broke parts of his face and skull and required him to have multiple eye surgeries. He almost lost his vision. For Dobrik's comeback vlog in June 2020, the Vlog Squad went wakeboarding on a shallow lake pulled by an excavator operated by David Dobrik.
We were all together, which was like so rare because we had all been apart for so long.
We're in the middle of the lake. We have this tractor, and then we have Heath and Todd. You guys ready? Ready. All right, let's go.
As everyone shows up to do the stunt in the middle of the lake.
Well, here goes nothing. Let's fucking go, Todd!
It was basically like wakeboarding, but in the same place, and it looked really pretty on this like beautiful lake, and the lake was only like a foot deep. We were like, okay, it's good to go. There's no way he could hit it, even if it swings a different way.
Too fast, too slow? Oh, that was too fast.
All the boys, they were like tubing, and it looked so cool, and like the mountains were in the background. It was like so picturesque, and David was driving the little excavator thing.
Throughout the vlog, essentially David is trying to do a bunch of like really cool, really exciting stunts, a bunch of really cool things. He picks a bunch of members from the Vlog Squad to do a few different exciting things, and they get to filming. A few people chose skydiving. So in order to get skydive certified, Jeff Wittek, Natalie Maraduena, and somebody else, I forgot who else, they go get skydive certified. They have to jump out of a plane 25 times to be certified. Wittek does this. He gets certified. He shows up to the lake. They're doing the wakeboarding stuff, but that's not enough for David. Tubing, being pulled around by a big tractor, which is what I imagine an excavator to me. I don't entirely know what an excavator is. Like, it just wasn't enough for him. At one point, Corinna Kopf swings directly from the line, but when it starts falling down, she yells that she wants to get off. And though Dobrik doesn't immediately agree, he lets her down.
Corinna gets on it, and then David starts moving it. It's like, this shot looks so sick, this looks beautiful.
She's good, she's good.
The thing comes off, and it starts falling down, and Corinna's like, oh, what the fuck, put me down, put me down. She's like, you take things too far, David.
When Wittek tries the same thing, Dobrik swings him even higher and faster, and then abruptly, he stops. Wittek crashes into the machine and then into the water with his foot still caught in the line. He breaks his face, he has permanent trauma, and he gets brain damage. He also loses vision in one eye. This is going to be a scary video. It's a little bit violent. It's not very it's not gory, and it's not explicit, but it's shocking and just generally terrifying. If you don't want to see it, fast forward a few seconds.
Jumped out of a plane 20 times. What's the worst that could happen if I swing from a rope over a 1 foot deep lake? And yeah, I didn't know I was gonna go that fast. So I grabbed the fucking rope and I tried to make a goddamn funny video for people. But this is where I made a mistake. I forgot that the biggest fucking idiot I know was driving it.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Because of this hit, Wittek now has permanent trauma and brain damage. It's later announced via his and Trish's podcast and confirmation tweets in September and October of 2023 by Wittek that David Dobrik and Natalie Meredwina controlled the narrative of his documentary, asking constantly to come over and make edits while Jeff was still recovering from a surgery, one of about 10 that he's already had. These surgeries will not stop, ever. They also were pushing the release of the video regardless of the fact that he could barely stand, his eye was bleeding, and he was on copious amounts of anesthesia.
Go to Utah Valley Hospital, just been hurt. The whole side of his face is just open.
And nobody could do anything to stop it.
On May 7th, 2021, in a comment on Trisha Paytas' TikTok, Tana Mojo, YouTuber, an occasional guest star of the vlog, addresses how Dobrik had repeatedly tried to set up a threesome for her, Jason Nash, and Paytas. Tana Mojo, who was 19 at the time, responded that she was staying out of drama, but is now in therapy.
Comfortable with it.
I think I'm uncomfortable. I think I might actually like try and unalive myself if we do this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
in September of 2023, Tana and Trish went on to Trish's podcast, Just Trish, to just talk about how creepy that was, how much Trisha felt uncomfortable with the fact that Jason was so old and hitting on Tana, and David was attempting to like continually make this a thing regardless of the fact that it made Trisha uncomfortable and it made Trisha jealous. None of them cared. Also Jason creepy as hell. I want to add that in there. Like Jason is not innocent, obviously. On June 15th, 2021, Dobrik uploads his comeback vlog, surprising my friends, as if nothing has happened. The entire vlog squad returns with little to no acknowledgement of the controversies that kept the members relevant during the hiatus, and at this point they are posting new videos every Tuesday. Conveniently, Frenemies is no longer uploading on Tuesdays since Paytas quit the podcast. The gang is already back and at it to its old antics during a Hawaii getaway where one member ends up bleeding. They would be going to Hawaii. A lot of Hawaii visits for these people. They don't want us there. They don't want us there. Tourism is killing Hawaii, y'all. This is unrelated. This is not in my notes. Just like, they don't want us there. Don't go. This obviously isn't a horrible injury, but people can continually get minor and major injuries in David's vlogs without anyone around to help. And then they get a quick ride to the hospital in his Tesla. Do people in David's vlogs get paid for their time and embarrassment? No. But they do get the promise of engagement, and if you're funny, and if you do something cool or crazy in the vlog once, maybe David will put you in it again. And maybe you'll get a lot of opportunities from that. Vlog squad members have almost always been like pretty straightforward about the fact that they'll do anything for the camera for this reason. Which frankly sucks. They were funny at the time, but these are real people. And like, if you really think about it, are these things really funny? Because I don't think so.
I wanted to see if you guys could help.
Okay. How much, I can help you, but I gotta...
On February 3rd, 2022, Dobrik is back with SeatGeek. Last year, he gave one of his favorite musicians a van with SeatGeek as his sponsor. Ian Borthwick, head of influencers at SeatGeek. This question, it's for you, motherfucker. Do we support David's actions? So much so that you continue to fund his dangerous activities? I'm just curious because I know my answer. February 28th, 2022. You know who's absent from David Dobrik's return to vlogging? Jeffrey Wittek. After mentioning on a recent live stream that he hadn't received a text or nothing from Dobrik since his most recent corrective eye surgery, Wittek released an episode of his podcast titled Dear David to get some points through about the crane accident.
We don't take any days off over here. I am on a lot of drugs today, guys. Which camera am I looking at? It doesn't matter. I just had eye surgery, so I will be doing this podcast on. I'll be doing this podcast on a little bit of drugs.
Wittek says, I've been protecting this guy for so long, and there's so much to the story than just him not texting me for a week after I've had such a drastic surgery where I could have been blind, he says. Wittek also references the documentary he released in the aftermath. Don't try this at home, saying, we sugarcoated it. He's a scumbag friend, a fake friend, and now the documentary is over, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't text me and doesn't check in, he claims in the episode. The other reason, him saying now, flipping the script, saying, oh, it was fucking Jeff's idea, he's crazy, complete bullshit. This is in regards to what we are going to get into in a second. He must have talked about it briefly prior, but it wasn't big enough that it was like something that was a headline. Essentially, David claims that it was Jeff's fault and Jeff's idea, which is only so true. But even if it was, he didn't ask to almost die. He didn't ask to break his face. He didn't ask for brain trauma. He didn't ask for damage. And he didn't ask to almost lose his vision. Wittek claims Dobrik did not pay any medical bills as promised, and now he has an infraction on his credit, not to mention losing his role as a Vlog Squad player. Luckily, unlike a lot of the Vlog Squad members, Wittek had a following prior to his content with David, so he would be okay when leaving the crew, but what does this say for members of the group that rely on David for his name and his engagement? They have no choice. And that's why I said at the beginning of this video that he might be an influencer cult leader. Because, I mean, it's not a real cult, but he has promised them everything and just given them copious amounts of fame and attention, and they have got a lot of money and good life from that. Regardless of all this bad shit, why would they leave? Okay, maybe if they had like moral ground, but it doesn't seem like they do. On March 4th, 2022, David Dobrik breaks back into the tech sector. He partners with Diplo, who's had rape allegations against him since 2019, Stassi Baby, I cannot say her last name, and other influencers to launch the app Roll, created by Eric Zamudo and Tara Electra. Electra is also the founder of Unruly. Unruly is an OnlyFans creator management company who's been accused of publishing nudes without consent and creating exploitive contracts. Damn, y'all gonna make a good team, huh? Also, what the hell is Roll? Roll app Dobrik. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a photo game. Like, influencers will sign up. Okay, sorry, I was like reading that. So influencers will like sign up and they can monetize their content just by like uploading things to like their camera roll essentially. And people can pay to access their favorite person's camera roll. I can see very quickly how that can get problematic. Moving on. That was not relevant. I was just curious. March 8th, 2022. The Views podcast is resurrected with an episode titled Discussing What Happened, regarding the excavator incident with Jeff Wittek. Dobrik stresses how it's been the worst 2 years of his life. Who among us, bro? Pre-COVID life was lit. We all feel that way. Anyway, and he, at other points, laughs about being canceled. The Jeff thing is the fucking worst, he says on the podcast with Jason Nash and Natalie Mariduena, addressing the incident for the first time. It's been a year since it happened at this point, by the way.
Like, that day is like the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I wish I would fucking do anything to take that day back.
I think one of the main reasons Jeff is bummed with me right now is because he saw me do an interview that I said something that I promised him I'd keep between us, he said, referencing that the stunt was supposedly Wittek's idea, like I said earlier. In his retelling of the day of the incident, Wittek sent him a video of a man swinging on an excavator before jumping off. Essentially, 50 Cent posts this video of a dude doing kind of what Jeff did with Dobrik, but more so less dangerous. Like he just swung it around like a little bit, very similar to the way he swung around Corinna Kopf. Like, it was chill, you know, it wasn't crazy, it wasn't a life-threatening stunt. Dobrik says he didn't see the video until they were already at the hospital. I don't believe that. Man was videoing the whole time while he's driving this. I feel like he would have a few seconds to check his DMs. And on Instagram, you can say that you've read some, you can put like the unread thing when you have read something. So there's not really a way to verify that, I must say.
It was a video that he found like 15 minutes before the accident that somebody posted. And he said, let's recreate this. And it was a guy swinging from an excavator and flying off. I didn't see that DM till the hospital.
He then says, I didn't see that DM until the hospital. At that point, he alleges Wittek asked him to promise, no one ever knows this was my idea. I think this is important to note that he says that, because not only does he tell everyone Jeff asked him not to tell anybody, and he says he told someone, but he repeats it all and he tells it again. And he's like extremely specific, like that's the promise I broke. Like don't act like you're not just saying this to put your fucking timeline together, you know? It's ridiculous. Like essentially he's just here saying this is Jeff's fault. It was his idea. Here. And as for the medical bills, Dobrik claims to have covered like $78,000 worth of surgery. It's a two-way street, he adds. We can be like, when's your next surgery? But also no one's looping us into what we need to be paying for. Send a text, David. That's all you have to do. He talks about this whole thing about like, I've never had a rougher time communicating with somebody than I have with him during this. Like, yeah, obviously you almost killed him. He probably has a lot of like resent towards you. And you know, like I saw a tweet one time that said, or maybe it wasn't a tweet, I think it was a show or something. I was watching something actually, and it was about somebody cheating on their partner. And the person who cheated was talking to their friend, and they were like, so the person who cheats just has to kiss ass until the person who got cheated on decided it's better? And yeah, you gotta be fucking nice. And if you can't, have your assistant do it. The day after this podcast, on March 9th, 2022, Wittek reacts to the Views podcast on his own channel with a video titled, What Really Happened. He says he only sent the Instagram video as a joke, but even if it wasn't a joke, like I said, he didn't ask to almost die. He strongly denied asking Dobrik to keep it a secret for him, and he clarified that if anything, he didn't want Dobrik to tell people that I fucking deserve to get hurt like this for doing such a dangerous stunt like that. Because obviously I would have a lot of regret behind it too.
You've been driving it for 9 hours, so you know how to operate the thing. You know how fast it goes. The whole bullshit fucking automatic stop thing was a fucking lie that we try to throw in there if that comes up later on. You knew exactly how fast you were going to spin me. The first time I got on it, we agreed to do a little bullshit spin. Not a spin, a swing. Same thing as Corinna did, but the rope started falling down. And then you wanted to fucking whip it like that, and I screamed for my life, and that's the one mistake I made, was putting my life in someone else's hands, in your hands. That's it. That's what I fucking asked, is for you not to tell people this was my idea. Not to tell people that I'm a fucking, like, I deserve to get hurt like this. I didn't want you to frame it like that, which is what you're doing right now.
Responding to the medical bills situation, Wittek claims that Dobrik stuck him with a lousy insurance company. He says, it's not coming out of your pocket, dog. He adds that he had to convince Dobrik to pay for half of a stem cell procedure, and that David and Natalie skewed the narrative of his documentary, as they were constantly trying to control the edit while he was on severe amounts of post-surgery medication.
I don't know if you guys know this about surgeries and anesthesias, but anesthesia, it's so powerful to knock you out while they're cutting you open and stuff like that. It lingers in your body for a few days after. So they came over the day of surgery, so I was completely a vegetable. And then after that, it was like, they were asking me if they could cut pieces, and I was like, fuck it, who gives a fuck? I don't care about nothing.
Yeah,
get my eyes stitched shut. I was like, bro, I don't even care. I just fucking get the documentary done.
That same week, on March 12th, YouTuber Casey Neistat releases a documentary exclusively premiered at South by Southwest 2022. This documentary has not been released publicly. Only people who got a ticket to South by Southwest, or maybe took a video and fucking pirated that shit, have that and have seen it.
And the only times he said anything about it were in a Variety article before the premiere and during the South by Southwest Q&A, which he did mention that him and David are not on speaking terms.
I suspect that it's not out publicly because it's being used for evidence, because When Neistat started the documentary in 2019, it was about David Dobrik's rise to fame. At the time, they were friends. Dobrik was one of the top 5 most viewed YouTubers, and there's a lot of YouTubers. But as it premiered, Under the Influence, the title of the documentary, told a different story. Essentially, the story of all this, and the story of the numerous assaults Dobrik has caught on camera without saying anything until it's too late. The story of the lives he's almost taken without caring, and then the story of him continuing to just be unsafe. Dobrik's stunts have always been dangerous. When Casey first visited Dobrik's mansion in 2019, David greeted him at the door with a flamethrower, which he wielded haphazardly, like a fucking Nerf gun. There was never a naivety on my part, even in my relationship with David, that everything was perfect, Casey told TechCrunch. Part of my interest in telling this story was trying to reveal how this is done, how he tried to get away with everything he was getting away with. He uses his friends as disposable characters that he could almost kill off when they're not willing to go to the extreme for him or prove to not be relevant in his videos. I just got goosebumps. That's crazy. I remember very clearly one of the first questions I asked David was, these people that we've seen in your videos, are they your friends? Or are they your coworkers? And his response, that's included in the doc, is him hesitating. Casey said, it caught me off guard because I expected him to be offended at the question. Although the doc highlights Dobrik's lack of safety precautions, it almost primarily focuses on the sexual assault allegations. On screen, Neistat asked Dobrik, there's something gross about a guy using his social media platform and his influence to attract young women. And then you make a video out of it. Did any of that occur to you as wrong or inappropriate? Casey ate with that. He ate because there is something gross. Like, especially all that, like all those Dom clips. He said any girls over 18 want to come and do some stuff. Like, you're not a porn star asking like who wants to film today. And even that would be weird, you know? At that time, there was no such thing as a power dynamic to me, Dobrik replied in the doc. An admission that he literally never considered his position as a supersized social media star could change the way that people interacted with him. C-A-P. I didn't see that as anything weird. Looking back at it now, it's really gross. Yeah, it is gross, David. It is fucking gross.
The last time he and I spoke was shortly after that final interview. He's had an opportunity to see this movie, but I've not spoken with him directly about it since.
The documentary was released on March 12th, 2022, and only a handful of people have seen it because it's not currently online and was only premiered at South by Southwest. Before the doc came out, Casey Neistat FaceTimed Jeff Wittek and showed him the things that David said about him when asked about the excavator incident, saying, yeah, Jeff's just a crazy guy, like he wanted to do it. It turns out the Neistat showed this footage to Wittek about a week and a half before the statute of limitations for Wittek to press charges against Dobrik was up. So he rushed to do it. And eventually, he does. On March 29th, 2022, David posts his last vlog to his YouTube account. A month later, on April 20th, 2022, he posts his last podcast to the Views account. He hasn't posted on YouTube since. Does he think he's slick doing this on 420? As of June 27th, 2022, Jeff Wittek is officially suing David Dobrik, according to a TMZ report. Wittek specifically claims as a result of the accident he suffered wage loss, loss of earning capacity, and racked up hospital bills. He's suing for general negligence and intentional tort. TMZ reported that Dobrik is being sued for $10 million, but that has proven to not be true. As Wittek said in September of 23 on Trisha Paytas' podcast, Just Trish. They are not looking to settle. And if they do, it'll be more than that.
They put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing.
Fast forward a year to last month, September 2nd, 2023. Trisha Paytas goes on Tana Mongeau's podcast, Canceled. Fitting for them. This sparks Jeff Wittek, who's a super close friend of Tana, to reach out to Trisha and ask her to record a tell-all on Jeff's podcast, Jeff FM. On September 28th, 2023, Jeff Wittek and Trisha Paytas dropped episodes on their podcasts, Just Trish and Jeff FM. They go on the pod to bond over their past beef and chat about their experiences with David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad. Jeff says that he's constantly talking to lawyers in efforts to take his case against Dobrik to trial. Despite continuous efforts on Dobrik's behalf to get the case dismissed, Wittek keeps trying. David has tried to claim that since Jeff is an employee, he's not able to sue him. It's important to again note that David doesn't pay his friends for being in his vlogs, even though they brought millions and millions and millions of dollars to his pocket. He might just buy them a Tesla though. I don't think Jeff got one though, if I'm right. He hints at the fact that no one in the vlog squad speaks to him or makes content with him anymore just because David doesn't want them to, and that he's hoping that the trial is taken to court.
Manipulation and like, I can't wait. I'm telling you, Johnny Depp Amber Heard Part 2. It's.
Do you think it'll go to trial?
I hope. I
You
would
want
love
it
for
to.
it to, yeah.
Which is
yeah.
like usually like anyone who would do it for clout or whatever, which is not. You should get paid and compensated for your whatever. Usually would just want a settlement. But the fact that you like want to go to have trial and have this all come out, like I think that says like a lot about your like story.
Wittek talks about the fact that he thought he was going to die in the few seconds before he passed out in the excavator incident. He truly had no idea if he'd ever be able to see again. And at first, neither did the doctors. Wittek also says on Paytas' podcast that David and Natalie were missing payment deadlines to pay his hospital bills, like they agreed to the point where it's affected his credit score. Like I said, he had an infraction on his credit. He alluded to not being able to share a lot of information due to the fact that it's being saved for trial. Wittek goes on to call Natalie Maraduena, Ghislaine, Max one, and says that he can't wait to expose Natalie's lies. She's next level. Ultimately, Wittek and Paytas found a lot of similarities in their situations of being treated badly, and then gaslit by the vlog squad when speaking up about their issues, and then being hated by fans. It doesn't seem like a great thing that either of them have been through. Like, they were shunned from the group, gaslit, and then the subject of hate from all Dobrik's fans. So I can understand why they just like haven't always been in a good spot. But it's cool to see this all come together now, and the fact that these two quite random people from the vlogs come together and just spit out so much information.
You know, those are people, not just friends in real life, they're my content people. Like, I film with them, so now I gotta rebuild everything. Do I even want to do social media anymore? Like, do I
It
want
makes you not want to when you leave such a big dynamic like that, because I got hate that whole year, just constant. Like,
a few days ago, on October 3rd, 2023, Jeff Wittek posts a thread on Twitter with photos, videos, and screenshots pertaining to the incident. The thread includes a video one of his friends took of him, Natalie Maraduena, and David Dobrik sitting in a room watching Wittek's Don't Try This at Home documentary before this came out, implying they were controlling the edit. As he said earlier on his podcast and on Trisha's, at this time, he was on heavy amounts of anesthesia and he wasn't even in the right mind to make decisions.
I said, just don't jump without me. I don't want this accident to turn me into a pussy, so make sure you don't jump without me.
A week earlier, in his interview with Paytas, he said that at the time he thought David was looking out for everybody, especially when it came to the legality of the dangerousness of the things that he was doing. But his friends thought otherwise, and he's glad they captured this video of the three of them. By the way, he had surgery that day. Literally, he said that he was sitting there quite not coherent. He also posted screenshots of his team's messages with Natalie, where Natalie unsympathetically is asking and nagging about the edit of the documentary and ensuring they put the teaser stuff for the positive note. He posts these with the caption, "I'm lucky I had good people around me that saw this BS for what it was." To be honest, bro is lucky he's alive. Like, I'm being so serious. And that, my friends, is all we know. As of today, Saturday, October 7th, that is, 2023. So in theory, what does this mean for Dobrik? Dobrik is currently attempting to get Jeff Wittek's case dismissed and active nearly every day on Snapchat. Snapchat's ad revenue sharing program is still in beta testing, but some creators report big payouts. I'm assuming Dobrik is one of those creators. Snap has about 375 million daily users, and those are just the active ones. 7.4 million of those users, they are subscribed to Dobrik's stories. Last year on his podcast, he said he made $103,000 in just a week from posting less than 5 videos on Snapchat's Spotlight, which I think is like their TikTok. They just post videos rather than things to their stories. To say the least, David Dobrik is safe on Snapchat. They're paying him for having high viewership. They're putting ads between the 50, 75, 80, 100 plus stories he's putting out a day. And the big thing, only he can see the comments. And if you think about it, this is the best platform, like for somebody like him with as many allegations against him, because the comments can't get flooded with things like, take accountability. Now the crimes. Now throughout all of this, there has to be some serious laws David Dobrik and his friends have broken. So I took to the internet, and with the help of my friends at SeatGeek, no, I'm just kidding, I tried to dig into the California law. I'm an abolitionist, but let's just see what some of the possible laws the dastardly David Dobrik and his crew have broken, because it's gotta be a lot. I'm not a lawyer. I did some internet research and I used ChatGPT to figure this out. So like some of it may be like a little bit accurate, not super accurate. Like it's kind of just few and far between. So for filming and encouraging sexual harassment, David Dobrik may be guilty of committing invasion of privacy, distribution of sexually explicit images, and possibly California workplace laws. Dom Gladys may be guilty of sexual harassment. For making Seth Francois kiss Jason Nash without Seth's consent, David Dobrik may be possibly guilty for committing possible battery, aiding and abetting sexual harassment, and Jason Nash may be guilty for sexual harassment. For pressuring Nick Antonian to show his genitals, David Dobrik may be guilty of sexual harassment and invasion of privacy. Nick Antonian may also be guilty of indecent exposure. For filming a grape, David Dobrik may be guilty of distribution of explicit material and aiding and abetting a grape. Todd Smith may be guilty of purchasing alcohol for minors and possibly aiding and abetting a grape. Dom Gladys may be guilty of grape, is guilty of grape, sexual assault, and sexual battery. For filming a statutory relationship with a minor, Lacey James, in reference to her relationship with Brandon Calvillo, David Dobrik may be guilty of invasion of privacy, child endangerment, and distribution of explicit material. Brandon Calvillo may be guilty of child endangerment and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. For statutory grape, dating a teenager and lying about it, Brandon Calvillo may be guilty of unlawful sexual intercourse, child endangerment, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. For hiding while Trisha Paytas has intercourse without her knowing and filming her naked, David Dobrik may be guilty of invasion of privacy, distribution of explicit materials, and violation of the Communications Decency Act. Jason Nash may be guilty of invasion of privacy and possibly a combination of the other things David is guilty for. For breaking Jeff Wittick's face with heavy machinery, David Dobrik may be guilty for reckless endangerment, possible assault, negligence, and intentional tort. I'm not a lawyer, but with a little research, all of these laws are easily accessible on the internet. So are most of Dobrik and Friends' crimes. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, you are a real one. Yeah, this has been Hunter Baines on David Dobrik, and that's what we know. Good night.